Dr. Keel, a big hurdle right here today, right?
Well, it is a big hurdle, and more importantly than that, it's an unbelievable statement that our students have made and that this university has made. And, you know, we talk about being student-centered all the time, and I don't think anything we could have possibly done to speak louder to the student-centeredness of this university than the turnout we had today. This was all about the students. It was all about the students in the very beginning. Student Government Association just did an unbelievable job. What a leadership role they played in getting information out to the students and getting the student to vote out. For you to have a voter turnout of 55% for any type of vote is absolutely unprecedented. And we're just very, very proud and excited about that turnout.
Next big step.
Next big step is for me to take this information to the Board of Regents. Clearly, the Board of Regents has the ultimate authority to pass or not fees. And we've been in contact with the Board of Regents all along to help them know the process that we're going through to get this vote. We will try to get this to the Board of Regents as soon as possible and have them have a chance to vote on it.
Dr. Keel, how does this happen?
I don't know the answer. It was been the same since I've been here, with the exception of some minor, couple of dollar a year increases for cost of living and that sort of thing. But it's been pretty much at this level for some time now. This is the first major increase in athletics, first major increase in any particular fee other than the institution fee we've had some time.
Dr. Keel, what was the protocol in initiating a vote?
Well, obviously, again, this was student-driven. The Student Government Association was heavily involved in providing information for their student colleagues. They had a form they sponsored to provide information. They had a very detailed website providing detailed information of frequently asked questions on each of these fees. They went door to door in the dormitories and the residence halls to remind students to vote. We had signs across campus. When the students logged into their internal Georgia Southern account, there was a reminder to vote. So we went all out to try to get the students to vote. We wanted to make sure that we had as large a number of students to be able to tell us what they felt about these fees. We're just wildly successful.
Dr. Keel, once the FBS is possibly implemented, how will that affect sports across the university, and how will that affect the university on a whole?
Well, I guess we will affect every single team we have and in a positive way. One thing to keep in mind is that all of our teams, with the exception of football, play at the highest level. Volleyball, baseball, softball, tennis, they're all Division I teams in every sense of the word. Football has always been at a different tier. This allows our football program to move up to that old 1A category, now the FBS, and allow them to compete at the highest level just like all the other teams. It would allow us to move to a conference and have a greater national exposure if we're invited to do so. And that national exposure is what I'm particularly excited about, not only from a marketing point of view, if you will, but to allow our student athletes, all of our student athletes, to perform on a more national stage.
Still a lot of money that has to be raised in order to make that move up there. Right?
Oh, absolutely. I've said all along, this particular move is about the money. The student fee will cover just about a little over half of the total amount of money that we need to make the move to the FBS. Once we were to get to the FBS, there are opportunities for revenue generation that we just don't have at the FCS level. The football guarantees, for example, playing some of the bigger teams is much higher, nearly twice at the FBS level than it is at the FCS level. And there are other guarantees that you get by being associated at that level, at that league. So, and we're hoping that the Eagle Nation will step up and contribute more, and we know that they will. And it's going to be such a great opportunity for the community to further participate in seeing a much larger footprint here for football and all the other sports that we have. We'll be having teams, big teams across the country now coming into Statesboro to compete in all of our sports. And that's going to be great for the community.
Dr. Keel, exactly how much money does it take to go to FBS?
We've said all along it's going to take about $4.4 million is what we figure in addition to the athletic budget, and that's across the board. That's mostly scholarships, so about half of that's going to be in scholarships. To move from the FCS to FBS, we go from 63 to 85 scholarships in football. That's 22. We have to add an equal number of scholarships in women's sports as well. for Title IX, which will go through the existing women's sports. It will also allow us to add another team. The NCAA requires you to have 16 teams that when you play in a league at the FCS level. And we were looking at adding another team in women's sports. We've been looking at sand volleyball, golf, or competitive rifle. With a new shooting complex we hope to have on campus, a break ground on campus in a short time. That will allow us to have a very unique sport, a women's sport in competitive rifle, as an example. So it's an exciting opportunity for athletics in general. In addition to the increased cost for scholarships, there's increased travel and operating expense that you would appreciate. We'll now be able to recruit students from across the South, and in fact across this country, and being at the FBS level will allow all our sports to be more competitive in terms of recruiting the absolute best talent we can.
I guess doing the math, you gain about $3 million from the students.
Roughly, it's going to be at this current enrollment level is about 2.6, so the 4.4 as I remember will come from the student fee. And as I say, the football guarantees we get, the increase that we'll get in donations from alumni, etc., will give us that money that we need.